Wash your hands, avoid sick people, and touching your face. There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. Brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station. There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick.
We should
Cover
be good
your
there.
cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message.
Yeah, you sound fine. I don't know about Drew, but we'll hear from there.
Yeah, I was doing that, and then
Wash
I
your
also
hands.
was connecting
Avoid
it
sick
into
people
the show
and touching
or
your face.
the video.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of
So video-wise, we're on too.
Visit
hopefully it works.
cdc.gov/COVID-19.
It's worked all week.
Brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this
live on
station.
Twitch.
Hey, this is Tony with Heroes on the
We're
Water.
live
We'd like to
everywhere.
invite everybody that might want to participate in
Tom
helping
doesn't
Movie Warrior.
understand that, like, you can broadcast as long as we don't have anything else going on right now. He's just like, I don't understand how other morning guys can do it.
Do what?
Stream right now, like on multiple platforms. It's because you don't have any other stuff going on with the stream. You're doing it straight from your phone.
Oh, yeah.
Locally stay.
It's coming straight from your phone. Your phone has more computing power than this computer in their office.
Yeah, I mean, the
that are
phone.
paid. We need
Look,
all the
if
help
I didn't
that we
have
can
to
get,
use, I mean,
volunteering,
the
donating,
phones are
and
great if
participating.
they'd
so
be
if you know
100%
anybody
reliable
that benefit
sometimes,
from
but-
it, warriors from
but
Afghanistan,
they have just as
Iraq,
much-
Vietnam, whoever that may have
I mean,
post-traumatic.
shoot, I can stream straight from my phone with Streamlabs. I mean, it's no different than what y'all are using.
Right.
It's having a good time.
It
If you'd
actually
like
comes
more,
in better sometimes, as long as I got a strong Wi-Fi.
or you can visit our Facebook page.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. This is SportsCenter.
Good morning, I'm Doug Brown. There is no doubt this baseball season, the pitchers are in charge.
Here's the 1-1. Swing, a weak grounder to short. Farmer in, he has it to first, and that's it! A no-hitter for Wade Miley. The 17th no-hitter in Reds history. And the first for the veteran left-hander.
The call on 700 WLW, Wade Miley and the Reds shut down the Indians 3-0, the fourth no-hitter of the season, which is only a little over 5 weeks old. The Nationals hammer the Yankees 11-4 in the Bronx. Josh Harrison with a 3-run homer. The Angels beat the Dodgers 9-2. David Fletcher drives in 3. Red Sox beat the Orioles 6-2. The Marlins over the Brewers 6-1. Isan Diaz with his first career grand slam. The Lakers get a big game from Anthony Davis, 36 points and 12 boards, but it wasn't enough against the Trailblazers. Damian Lillard with 38. Portland beats the Lakers 106-101.
We knew coming in that our season series was 1-1, and we needed this tiebreaker. You know, we know that we got the tiebreaker over Dallas. We got the tiebreaker over LA now. And it's going to play a major part, you know, in being in the playing game, and also who we end up matched up against. So this is a huge game for us. We knew that coming in.
Lillard leads the way. Portland now 6th in the West. The Lakers fall to 7th. The University at Buffalo hires Maurice Linguist as the Bulls' new football coach. He leaves an assistant job at Michigan.
We're back on Monday, and it's go time for the defending champion Lakers. We'll tell you where they stand in the race for the 6th seed, 7th seed, or 8th seed. I said it. Monday morning, Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin on ESPN Radio.
He said it. He also said Justin Fields would be Rookie of the Year.
Well,
PN,
that show
The
is probably
Zone.
going to undergo some changes.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Well, Zubin has diabetes, and so
The
he has
Talkin
not been
Ball
on the
with
show
Scott
for a while.
Tyson and
So they're thinking about replacing
Call
him
into
and
the
putting him
Neighbors
back
Wealth
on
Management
Sports Center to
Hotline
lighten
now,
his load.
256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977.
All right.
And just like that, we are off and running. It is another brand new live edition of Talking Ball. That's right. You're hearing it right. This is a special Saturday live edition of Talking Ball. on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Coming to you live. If it's a Saturday, that means we are coming to you live from University Kia, right along University Drive, 256-217-1700. That's the number here to University Kia. They are the number one Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. They are the largest volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. They have got everything for you right here at University Kia. They want to see you in a Kia. We'll run down some of all of the special financing deals, special offers they've got going on here at University Kia in just a second. But as always, it's great to be with you. Always good to have you with us on a Saturday. So that means the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline is open for you, 256-576-4977. That is the number to the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. We want to hear from you on this Saturday. What do we got coming up on a special Saturday show for you? Well, here is what we have going on. We're going to recap some high school baseball playoffs. The quarterfinals got underway on Thursday. Plenty of action yesterday. There were some game threes yesterday. There were some game 1s and 2 played yesterday. There'll be some really big-time game threes today on the baseball diamond on the high school side. This year's state soccer tournament continues rolling along over at John Hunt Park for the first time since 2019. For the first time since 2019, there were state champions crowned yesterday at John Hunt Park on the soccer field. Plenty of SEC baseball on the diamond last night. Both Alabama and Auburn laced up the cleats, put on the uniforms, and played some baseball. Auburn at home against LSU. Alabama, as you heard, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone on the road at Vanderbilt. Alabama back at it today. Game 2 of that series. Auburn will wrap up their third game with LSU today. Texas A&M, they lose a linebacker to the transfer portal, but could he make a return to the Yellowhammer State? We'll discuss the possibilities of that. 24/7 Sports has compiled the 10 most memorable college football plays of the past 10 seasons. Did they get it right? Did they leave a play out that should have made it? We'll go over that order as the show goes on. The Atlanta Braves, they're not playing the Washington Nationals anymore, so they struggle as they took on the Philadelphia Phillies yesterday. Kerryon Johnson, former Madison Academy product, Auburn standout, has a new home. It was kind of interesting. Remember on Thursday we were talking about this? Ian Rappaport comes out and says Kerryon Johnson's been released. And then like 20 minutes later, the GM from the Lions says, wow, we haven't decided Kerryon's fate yet. Well, they did. They released him, but Kerryon Johnson has a new team who picked up his options yesterday. Another no-hitter in the major leagues this year. If you're keeping track, that's 4 major league no-hitters this season already. We'll go over that. But, man, I tell you what, we have got a lot to get to. As always, though, we are here from University Kia on a Saturday. Don't forget, they are now open on Sundays 12 to 5. So get on out here to University Kia. Test drive a new Telluride. See if they have the Carnival in stock. You can get the all-new Kia Soul, the Kia Forte for $16,995. All month long, you can get the Kia Sportage, $21,995 out here at University Kia. The Kia K5 is here, $21,995. So get on out here. Ask about their military specials, financing programs for first-time buyers. The 2022 Kia Carnival is here. You've got to check this one out. And don't forget, they've got the Telluride as well. They are open this evening till 8 p.m., and then tomorrow on Sunday, you can get out here to University Kia from 12 to 5. Remember, they and us here at Talkin Ball, we want to see you in a Kia as well. All right, let's go over some of these high school baseball playoffs from yesterday. Oh, by the way, don't forget, we are also on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch right now. So you can, if you can't watch us or listen to us in the car, you can watch us as we've been on since 10 o'clock, since the show started. High school baseball from yesterday. Let's go over some of the scores from around the diamond. And in Class 2A, Mars Hill Bible, as we mentioned, they win their series over Spring Garden. They win that series 2-1. They had Game 3 yesterday. Mars Hill takes a 13-0 win in Game 3 yesterday in that Class 2A quarterfinal. Westbrook Christian beat Decatur Heritage in 2 on Thursday. Phil Campbell and Fife, we previewed this one yesterday on our Friday edition show. Phil Campbell takes Game 1 11-5. Fife rebounds and takes Game 2 4-2. So that will set up a winner-take-all Game 3 today at noon. So Phil Campbell and Fife in Class 3A will have that Game 3 today at noon. Class 4A, North Jackson gets it done over Hamilton yesterday. They take Game 1 2-1, take Game 2 8-3. So North Jackson wins that series. They will now take on Aniana, who got by Curry yesterday in 2 games. In Class 5A, we talked about Madison Academy getting by Hayden in 2 on Thursday. So they had already advanced to the semifinals. They were awaiting the winner of Russellville and Alexandria. They got 1 game in on Thursday, but had to stop because of weather. So they were supposed to tentatively play 2 yesterday. Russellville won the first game on Thursday 6-1. They blank Alexandria yesterday 9-0. So that will set up a winner. What a heck of a series is that is going to set up. Madison Academy and Russellville in the semifinals of the 5A state baseball playoffs. Madison Academy and Russellville. We will check in with the Mustangs a little bit later this morning here on the show. Hartselle and Oxford, they had to play a Game 3 yesterday because Hartselle slipped to Oxford in Game 1 7-3, rebounded to take Game 2 4-1, and then yesterday Hartselle gets by Oxford 7-0 to take that series 2-1. That was in Class 6A. Now Class 7A looks like this. Sparkman and Florence. We're going to preview this game a little bit later in the show as well because they have a winner-take-all Game 3. Sparkman falls to Florence 4-3 in Game 1 and then rebounds to knock off the Falcons 6-5 in Game 2 to force that best-of-3 series in the quarterfinals at 1 p.m. today. So that is your complete high school baseball rundown of all the scores from yesterday. We even threw in some of those Thursday scores for you so everybody would kind of know how we stand. But the weather today looks like it's going to be good. Got a little few clouds in the sky. That sun wants to poke out every now and then. So we should have good weather for Game 3s all around. And as we mentioned, Game 3s are going to be Phil Campbell and Fife gets underway at noon. And then you have Florence and Sparkman, which gets underway at 1 p.m. So a busy day on the high school baseball diamond once again.
It really is. And as we predicted, the Fife series is going to go to Game 3. From what I was hearing, I didn't get a chance to go out there last night, but as you said, 11-5 first game. Basically, it was controlled throughout by Phil Campbell, but it was nip and tuck in the second game. And there was a key play where I was hearing about a drop ball from the catcher at Phil Campbell or some kind of, a defensive miscue that allowed Fife to score a couple runs late in the ball game and win it. And so they found a way to win 4-2. Not surprised. I mean, this is a Fife squad that's led by a lot of seniors that are used to winning ball games.
Right.
Now they're going to, I believe Game 3 will be at noon.
That's what we just said, yes.
Yeah, at noon today. Because I was trying to check that last night. I thought I remember the coaches saying noon, but I was trying to confirm it, last night once I found out that went to Game 3. Now, Sparkman is going to be going at 1 o'clock, as I know you guys were talking about as well. They're going to be going to Game 3 over at Florence, and we're going to talk to Coach Jason Brewer here in a few minutes, since it'll be about an hour and a half or two and a half hours before first pitch. But he's going to give us some time this morning here at University Kia to talk about Game 3 because it was a heck of a doubleheader last night. I mean, Sparkman won on a walk-off to win 6-5 in the bottom of the seventh inning in Game 2. So those were two really hotly contested games. Florence came back to win game 1. So that's been a really evenly matched series. Both teams came in really red hot in how they'd been playing. So it's going to be over at Florence. Of course, it's tough, but Jason Brewer, who took over for Kellen Greer, who's now on the coaching staff at Berry College, he's done a really good job of getting this program back to the playoffs in 7A. This is his first playoff berth as a head coach. But Sparkman now 1 game away potentially from going to the 7A semifinals.
And that is where they would meet. Who the winner of that series is going to meet Hoover. Hoover got by number 1 ranked Hewitt Trussville yesterday, 2-1 and 3-1. So Adam Mosley, the former Grissom High coach,
knows how to win.
has Hoover into the semifinals there. Hartselle and Oxford, that'll be a game 3. That winner there will have to await Chelsea and Gardendale. That game there is going to a game 3.
Yeah, Kelsey had a comeback in game 2 last night.
And then Aniana and Curry, that is a 3rd game. Oh, no, Aniana and North Jackson will face each other in the semifinals.
Yeah,
in
North
Class
Jackson
4A.
swept, yeah.
Winfield and Piedmont is a game 3 in 3A. The winner of that will get Phil Campbell and Fife, the winner of that series, in a game 3. Class 2A, Mars Hill Bible got through 2-1 yesterday, so they will take on Westbrook Christian in Class 2A in a semifinal game to get to the 2A state championship game. So that is how your brackets look in the state baseball playoffs. And, man, I tell you what, we didn't get this last year. We didn't get state soccer last year. We didn't get state baseball last year. We didn't get state softball. And state softball is excited because they're going to be playing at Oxford for the state championships this year.
Chakalaka Park.
Yes, and with real fences, not portable fences. They're actually going to, it's a real softball fences. So, there's a lot to be excited about.
I wanted to give a shout out too, real quick, about Chakalaka because as we know, we talked to Coach Hunter Royer yesterday, and UAH in a very exciting ball game gets a 6-5 win over Shorter in round 1 of the GSC tournament. So congratulations to UAH getting off on the right foot. It's really important in those double elimination type tournaments to stay in the winner's bracket.
Well, they get West Florida today
down
there. And remember what he said. If they're able to go 2-0, they would automatically advance to the part where they now go to they have a chance then to host because they'll go to a site host. Remember, because they're not doing the Gulf South Conference tournament like they have in the past where everything is played there at Chakalaka Park and you get that winner. So we're really wanting the Chargers and Hunter Royer to pull through today against West Florida down there in Oxford.
Well, and they had their two pitching two games lined up pitching wise. And so they felt pretty good about it going in. And so as he said, it hasn't been a normal year. They had to take like almost a month break and then have a 10-game sprint to the end of the regular season where they went 7-3. But again, they had their first 2 pitchers lined up for these 2 games, hoping to stay in that winner's bracket. And as you said, Scott, if so, then they could potentially host, at Charger Park. And then if they can win the tournament, you're in. But they still have a legit shot anyway due to the uniqueness of this year to still get a bid to the regionals even without winning the tournament.
All right, so we talk about the spring sports and baseball not having a champion last year, softball not having champions last year. Neither did state soccer. And yesterday, for the first time since 2019, there were blue maps handed out on the soccer tournament. Unfortunately, our North Alabama teams came up short. Mars Hill Bible in Class 1A, 3A boys fall to Bayside Academy 3-0. So they came up short in their quest. Yeah, St. John Paul II girls in Class 4A, 5A. We're taking on another powerhouse in Montgomery Academy, and Montgomery Academy gets the championship 6-1 over St. John Paul's II. And Russellville in 4A, 5A boys came in undefeated on the year, but they were taking on the powerhouse known as Indian Springs. And Indian Springs has their own wing there at the state soccer tournament. And they got the win over Russellville yesterday, 2-0. in 4A, 5A boys state soccer.
But see, the amazing thing about Russellville, though, their program is only about less than 5 years old. They haven't been playing varsity soccer that long, so they go 19-0 and nearly win a state title. So still kudos to the Golden Tigers for that run.
And so today over at John Hunt Park, you will get your Class 6A boys and girls state championship games. And then in Class 7A, you will get your 7A and boys and girls state championship games. So if you're driving by John Hunt Park and you see everybody out, that is why everybody is out at the soccer fields. And I'm looking at the schedule, and I don't think we have anybody from North Alabama on the pitch today. But looks like it's all the Birmingham schools. Montgomery schools on the pitch today.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because we were talking high school baseball just earlier too, and we're going to talk to David Pressley in an hour or two. They advanced Thursday. They played early, and then they battled the weather, but were able to get both games in and get a sweep over at Hayden. They will host now Russellville High School, getting a sweep. But as we were talking about yesterday and this morning, Scott, they only got one game in themselves. Then the other game was postponed. So they had to play game 2 yesterday against Alexandria. And the crazy thing is it was nothing until the 9th inning. It was an extra inning game. And then Russellville explodes for 9 runs to win that game 9-0. So it wasn't, when you look at the score, it was extra innings too, because you got to remember high school baseball is always 7 innings.
Yes.
But Russellville, it took a while to break through. But when they did, the dam broke, so to speak, and they were able to, get that win and impressively and sweep Alexandria. So this is the series everyone's kind of been looking to. We heard Avery Seaton when we were here last at University Kia after round 1. You're trying to take care of the opponent in front of you, but everybody's kind of been looking at this matchup because these are two of probably the top 3 teams in 5A baseball that were on a collision course.
Yeah, Madison Academy 31-10, Russellville 38-6. They will meet in the semifinals of the state baseball playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was announced by Madison Academy, and we'll talk further with Coach Pressley about this. Remember how he told us that 5A baseball is going to be Monday. Right. It's going to start early, so they're allowing these teams to play earlier to set up their pitching, and so Madison Academy and Russellville will be playing on Wednesday over at Madison Academy for that doubleheader and a potential game 3 on Thursday in order to have a few days to set up their pitching to kick off that week on Monday.
All right, once again, we are live from University Kia right along University Drive. Don't forget, they are now open on Sundays from 12 to 5. Ask about their military specials, financing programs for first-time buyers. This is a Memorial Day sale. They will buy your vehicle even if you don't buy one of theirs all month long. So come on out here to University Kia. Let's get our first break in. When we come back, let's continue some high school baseball talk, shall we?
Yes, absolutely. We're going to talk to Coach Jason Brewer of the Sparkman Senators when we return. It has nothing to do with what you're doing, but
log on today, 977ESPN.com.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is the biggest thing going on in your life, more important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us, too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Congratulations to the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Millen is the fullback. Najee the tailback. Najee follows everybody. He's to the goal line. He
He is in. Touchdown, Alabama. Here's Mack under center. Forrestall is to the left. Quarterback. Here now, play action. Mack looks, floats it out, left side. Devontae angles for the corner of the end zone. He is in. Touchdown. Here now, Alabama on a second down play. Mack looks wide open, left side. Najee out of the backfield, makes the grab at the 10. Cuts inside the defense. He'll fire forward. He's got a touchdown. And that is it. The final score, Bama 52, Ohio State 24. Alabama does it. 10 regular season SEC wins. An SEC championship, a Rose Bowl championship, and national championship number 18. 13-0. Absolute perfection.
Alabama football on 97.7 ESPN The Zone was brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore, Bob Wallace Appliance, where we service what we sell, Terrell Technical Services, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, Hall's RV, Wow, and by University Kia. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Alabama. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? Send sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
From the WZDX 10 Point Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Not a bad Saturday afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. A fair amount of cloud cover, but we're still going to get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine. Temperatures hanging out in the upper 60s and lower 70s. A couple of scattered showers are going to be possible. That activity would be quick moving, and at the end of the day, I'm pretty confident most of us probably going to end up staying dry. We drop into the mid-50s through the overnight. More cloud cover for your Mother's Day. Still not going to be a terrible day. Temperatures climb into the upper 70s and lower 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel and Twitch. Just search 97.7 ESPN. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The Whiz Kids had won it, Bobby Thompson had done it, and Yogi read the comics all the while. Rock and roll was being born, marijuana we would scorn. So down on the corner, the national pastime went on trial. Talking baseball.
That's exactly what we're doing on our special Saturday edition of Talking Ball right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Talking high school baseball in particular, because there are some game threes that need to be played today to decide who goes to the semifinals of the Alabama High School Athletic Association State Baseball Playoffs. And one of those just so happens to be played in Class 7A between two North Alabama teams, Florence and Sparkman.
Yes, it's an outstanding matchup. I mean, if you were there last night, at Florence, it was a couple of outstanding baseball games by two red-hot ball clubs. Both area champions in Florence and Sparkman. But the Sparkman Senators get a huge walk-off win last night, late last night. And so we're honored to be joined this morning, I believe, by their fourth-year head baseball coach, Jason Brewer, who took over for Kellen Greer, who was there for 11 years before going to Berry College to go to the college level. But Jason was his pitching coach, and now he has, transitioned to being the head baseball coach at Sparkman and has this program on the precipice of a semifinal matchup potentially with the Hoover Bucks. And Adam Mosley, of course, cut his teeth at Grissom High School before winning a blue trophy at Hoover. But Jason Brewer has been good enough to join us this morning on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, you're with Drew and Scott. We're at University Kia this morning. Congratulations on the win last night, and definitely it's been a great series thus far against the Florence Falcons.
Give you a little gray hair moment.
Yeah, very much so. Thank y'all for having me on. Last night that's high school baseball at its best right there.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's what you do this for.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Coach,
it was a great series. It's a great start to the series.
Well, Coach, break it down for us. Break down games 1 and game 2. How did we get to a game 3?
Game 1, it was just it was two heavyweights going at it as hard as they could for 7 innings. We had chances late. They had chances throughout the game, and you just make the big pitch at the right time to get out of situations. It's athletes, competitors being competitors, man. That's all game 1 was. It's just who was going to flinch first. Game 2, we threw Causey, AJ Causey, our senior guy, pitched well. They did a few more things offensively, put us in some pressure spots. We made some errors, but still nobody quit. The competitors just came out and played to finish it out. I mean, that's our 5th 1-run ball game in this playoff. So, we don't. Neither team was going to let down. They weren't going to quit. So.
And Coach, how proud of your team are you? Because I believe, if I'm correct here, this is your first playoff run as a head coach with this program. So these kids don't have as much experience as, say, when you were an assistant coach and you guys had that great run at Sparkman. So you're kind of getting this program back to that level. But how have you liked the way they've responded as far as to these high pressure situations? Because you were just kind of referencing that from how they stepped up last night.
I couldn't be any more prouder, man. That regardless of the results, these guys, we started this process 4 years ago. The 2020 seniors were big on that. Big help getting that going last year before their season got shut down. These guys came in with the same fire. We preached to them, look, compete. You just got to compete. It's all it boils down to. Your talent can only take you so far. You got to have that fire to want to refuse to lose. And, that's where we've been so far in our first trip to the playoffs. And these guys have responded. I have no doubt they'll come out and respond today. And, just that refuse to lose mentality, compete your tail off all the way to the last out. And that's what, man, I can't be any happier and any prouder of.
We lots of times on high school baseball, you get to game 3s like this, and it could be a high-scoring one. It could be another low-scoring one, depending on what teams have left. What do you guys have left to throw today to throw at Sparkman? To throw at Florence, my bad.
Being the pitching coach in this program for 7 years, even during my tenure as the head coach, that development is one thing that we are huge on from the time they come in to the time they reach this point. So, we've got a couple of sophomore arms. We've got a couple of senior arms. We've got our closer, Jordan Pierce, still on the table. We feel really confident in the arms that we're gonna run out there today. So it's we feel like we're prepared for a long series.
Yeah, and Coach, I wanted to ask you about your philosophy, because you just talked about AJ Causey being starting game 2 and being your senior. Is that something that you believe in, as far as, or is it a series to series kind of thing, or do you believe maybe in saving your number 1 for game 2? Because I've talked to coaches who believe it's so important to get game 1 to get that upper hand, and sometimes it's all about, okay, well, we'll see what happens in game 1, but I want to have my stopper kind of in game 2 to try to get to game 3 and hopefully, as you said, use your pitching depth. What's your philosophy as a coach?
I think it's series to series. You have to look at who you're matching up with. Look at, again, you get into the playoffs, there are no secrets anymore. Everybody knows everything about everybody. So I think you have to take it team by team, series by series. Obviously, if you find yourself down 0-1, you got to throw your best guy game 2. Regardless of whether that's a 1 or 2, whoever it may be. But, you have to look at who who's in the other dugout across from you and you look at that early in the week, and then I like to get a pulse on my team. I like to see how they're practicing throughout the week, how the offense is shaping up with the, what we're looking to compete against, and and then make my decision on Thursday. I try not to look at it too far ahead in the week because things can change. So that's just how I've approached it, and I've learned from some of the best. Being with Greer before, and then Mosley at Grissom, and Coach Bell at Bob Jones before that, and Jason Fuller at Sheffield. I've worked with some really good ones, so I've kind of taken pieces from each of them.
Well, Coach, I got to ask you, I mean, both games were nip and tuck yesterday, games 1 and 2 with Florence in the quarterfinals. Is it more nervous or more enjoying it when a game is played, when both games are played like they were yesterday, when you're sitting there trying to manage and navigate through the 7 innings?
Well, nerves. Nerves is definitely, as mentioned before, gray hair moment. But it is fun to be in tight ball games because you start to get a feel. You see what your guys are made of.
Right.
Everybody would love to go out, put up 7, 8, 9 runs and feel more confident, relaxed a little bit. But when you put yourself in high pressure situations, the true competitor and character starts to come out. And that's what we're made of. That's what we want to see out of our guys, because that's what's going to ultimately, send you all the way to the blue map if you can maintain. And you start to find yourself that when the game does open up, they do become more relaxed. They don't feel that tense or that pressure anymore because they've been through it. So, last night was definitely a pressure cooker, along with the first round with Fame Park. I mean, our guys they're competing their tails off, and that's all as a head coach I can ask them to do.
There's no doubt, Coach, and when you have a senior like AJ Causey, who you had saved for game 2, and he's able to get deep in the game, and then also go 3 for 3 from the plate. That's what leadership and being a senior is all about.
Absolutely. He's been one of our most consistent bats ever since he came into the program, and he finds a way to shine in the big moments when it comes to the plate and on the mound. So he's a great kid, man. He's one of the best kids I've ever been around.
Well, and then talk about some of the other kids that you felt like really stepped up last night. I mean, anytime you play 2 emotion-filled games like that, there's going to be highs and lows, but certainly a lot of guys stepped up. Talk about, besides AJ, who are some of the other guys that you were proud of how they played?
Tucker Burns at the plate. I mean, he's the one that hit the walk-off single last night. Had a couple at bats early on where, just barrels falling underneath the ball. He's, not really staying on it, and then comes up in that situation and gets right back to basics. You got Ryan Strachan that hit third in our lineup that just, he just found a way to compete against Taylor in game 1, put together some at-bats against that guy. And I can go up and down the lineup against Taylor. I mean, Taylor is an outstanding pitcher. And our guys just found a way to compete their tails off the whole game, the whole lineup, top to bottom. Jacob Haley, our sophomore catcher, he had a really strong day at the plate. I think he was 3 for 6 in the 2 games. He found his swing, found his groove there to help set the tone late, especially late in game 2.
Well, Coach, game 3 today, then, I mean, are you confident? We talked about the pitching. Are we confident in the bats as well today that I mean, we can continue to do what they've been doing to get you to this point?
Absolutely. We've been talking about it all year long. I mean, we hit, we win. And that's kind of been our whole mentality, because we know our philosophy on the mound. We know the work that we put in defensively. So we just know we hit, we win. So I feel like these guys kind of found some grooves last night, and I think they're just going to carry it over today. And we got to go play the game. As I said early on this week, the team that executes the best is going to move on. So it's a matter of us controlling us, doing what we do, and just let the cards and the chips fall how they fall. Baseball is a funny game, man.
It really is, Coach. It is a funny game because you can hit the ball hard right at somebody, or you can have a what they call a little duck snort fall in for a base hit to win a game. So you always have to be prepared for situations. And I guess but as we've said though, with the schedule you guys played, being in 7A baseball as well, this has got to have you prepared. You feel like for a game like this, for all the marbles later today at 1:00.
Absolutely. We talked about it when we got back to the hotel last night. We went down to Auburn this year, played a doubleheader on a Friday night. We drove down 4-hour bus ride, played a doubleheader, and then had to turn around and play at 10 o'clock the next morning. Then same thing with going down to Hoover 2 weeks later. So we've put ourselves in position where we've had to ride on the bus, play a doubleheader, stay overnight, and then get up early and get back to work. So we talked about that last night when we got back to the hotel, that, the business, it's still a business trip. We still got work to do, and we just got to make sure that we execute on our end.
All right. Well, Sparkman, Florence, get underway today, 1 p.m. Should be a fantastic day for baseball, Coach.
Yeah, and we always ask this of all of our coaches. For your squad in Game 3, as you said, you have some arms available. You're confident. You've got your closer ready to go. But Sparkman advances to play Hoover. What do you guys have to do today, Coach, in your mind, to get Game 3 on the road at Florence?
We win.
Very succinct.
That's been our whole conversation all week long.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Simple. Baseball's a simple game, Coach. It is. It's a funny game, but it's a simple game.
That's right.
All right. Well, Coach, best of luck to you and your team this afternoon.
Yeah, no doubt, Coach. Congrats on the year so far. And I know it's thank you for taking a few minutes before the biggest game of the year to join us this morning here at University Kia. But we appreciate it and hope to see the Senators advance on to play the Hoover Buccaneers. But appreciate you joining us, Coach.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for what you guys do.
All right. Thank you. Sparkman head coach Jason Brewer joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And Drew, a lot of these guys, there's a few guys on both teams that'll end up playing collegiate baseball if they are one of the fortunate percentage numbers to make it to the minor leagues or to the professional ranks. That's where you want to go. Wasn't too long. This guy did the exact same thing, and that's Tanner Burns.
Yep.
Last night, the 22-year-old had his pro debut for High A Lake County. He went 4 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 6 strikeouts, 63 pitches, 48 of them strikes. So Tanner Burns, the former Decatur High product, with his professional debut last night.
Yeah, great to see. And you remember we had a chance to speak with him just recently. After we had talked to Butch Thompson, and of course Butch Thompson meant so much to his career, and he was such a star for Luke Lamb, who's now the head coach at Huntsville High, but who led that Decatur program to some deep playoff runs. And Tanner Burns was Mr. Baseball in the state of Alabama, and then went on to have a remarkable career at Auburn. Hated to see that his season got stopped last year before becoming a first-round pick of the Cleveland Indians, but certainly Tanner's just a hell of a competitor and a hell of a player. And he didn't show it. He didn't get a chance to showcase his hitting skills at Auburn, but he was a great hitter at Decatur as well, right. A two-way player, but certainly always had first-round talent as a pitcher. And I think he's got a very bright future with Terry Francona and the Cleveland Indians. And that's a good organization to play for because they're not a large market, so they have to develop their minor league talent. And so I think that was a great landing spot for Tanner, and it's great to hear that he got off to such a great start. I was talking to David Elwell, a longtime sports writer for the Decatur Daily, at the Trash Pandas Media Day, and we were kind of talking about Tanner was about to make his debut and that his family was going down to see that. So really good to hear that it went so well.
All right, I tell you what, it's 10:41. Let's get a break in. We're live from University Kia. They want to see you in a Kia. We want to see you on the Neighbors Wealth Management phones. They're open when we return from this break.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
Depression is a battle, but there is a new weapon to help you fight depression: transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS. TMS is an innovative FDA-approved therapy for patients with severe depression. TMS is non-invasive and not a drug. It is a safe, effective in-office procedure designed to activate natural functions in your brain's neurotransmitters. Find out if TMS is right for you. Contact IBH of Madison at 256-975-4162 or log on ibhus.com.
By now, we all know about the opioid crisis in America, but did you know there is another answer to pain management? CBD oil. And not all CBD oil is the same. The CBD formula provided by Physician's Choice is safe, legal, and most of all, effective. And we have a special offer. Visit PCCBD.com today, and at checkout, use the coupon code BAMA for 20% off your entire purchase. That's PCCBD.com, coupon code BAMA, and get the relief you deserve now. By now, we all know about the opioid crisis in America, but did you know there is another answer to pain management? CBD oil. And not all CBD oil is the same. The CBD formula provided by Physician's Choice is safe, legal, and most of all, effective. And we have a special offer. Visit PCCBD.com today, and at checkout, use the coupon code BAMA for 20% off your entire purchase. That's PCCBD.com, coupon code BAMA, and get the relief you deserve now.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
From the WZDX 10 Point Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Not a bad Saturday afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. A fair amount of cloud cover, but we're still going to get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine. Temperatures hanging out in the upper 60s and lower 70s. A couple of scattered showers are going to be possible. That activity would be quick moving, and at the end of the day, I'm pretty confident most of us probably going to end up staying dry. We drop into the mid-50s through the overnight. More cloud cover for your Mother's Day. Still not going to be a terrible day. Temperatures climb into the upper 70s and lower 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your home for the best coverage of football anywhere.
See, now this is a football. I want you to carry this with you always. Never let it out of your sight.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
All right, 10:46 here on a Saturday morning. We're coming to you live from University Kia along University Drive. Remember, they want to see you in a Kia. We want to see you in a Kia. 256-217-1700. That's the number to the neighbors. That's the number to the University Kia, not Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. That's the number to get you in a Kia. But to get you a part of the show, it's 256-576-4977. That is the number to get you a part of the show. And we welcome you this morning to give us a call as you will. We talked some high school baseball, but let's journey into the college ranks, the collegiate ranks. Plenty of SEC baseball hitting the diamond last night as well. Florida knocks off Kentucky 8-5. Mississippi State secures a berth in the SEC tournament with a 9-0 win over South Carolina.
And the big story of that game was former Huntsville High pitcher Christian McLeod, who may be the SEC pitcher of the week for that way he shut down Carolina on the road. He was just dealing last night. It was a great night actually for a lot of local kids because we cover local sports. And I got to give Cam Hill of Bob Jones a lot of credit, former Bob Jones Patriot. They didn't win the game. You talked about it. Auburn falls 9-6, but he went 3 for 4 in that game. I watched quite a bit of it as the DH. He did a great job. So that was, and then Caden Rose had a bunt single for Alabama. They fall to Vanderbilt. I got to give Alabama some credit though. Kumar Rocker, as you know, Scott, probably going to be the first pick in the draft. He's in the Vanderbilt's #1 pitcher, and Alabama knocked him around about as well as anyone has. Georgia, the only other one. Georgia's his only loss. Alabama got 6 runs off of him, earned last night, but unfortunately the Tide's pitching couldn't hold up. And Vandy, as talented as they are, gets 13 hits and 9 runs and wins the game 9-6. But still, Alabama, you heard that game here on 97.7 The Zone, was able to, swing the bats pretty well. I mean, they struck out a lot, but when they made contact, they made it count. And they were able to push Kumar Rocker. Actually got him out after 5 innings. He had thrown well over 100 pitches, but the Vandy bullpen held up and did a nice job. And so Alabama drops that game. But you'll hear game 2 today live at 2 o'clock. But there was a lot of local guys that were playing well last night with Cam Hill, Christian McLeod, Caden Rose, a lot of people that we've seen in our community play around here with local sports that, that we wanted to give a shout out to. And that's why we had Jason Brewer on as well, because Scott, we consider ourselves the newspaper now. The newspaper they're still AL.com, but the high school coverage in some ways is not what it used to be. So we want to give these coaches a voice. And so we appreciate everyone for listening and supporting us.
All right. Some of those other scores from around the league. Arkansas gets by Georgia 3-0. Texas A&M over Ole Miss 9-8. Tennessee over Missouri 5-4. And as we mentioned, Auburn falls to LSU 9-6. Alabama falls to Vanderbilt 9-6 as well. So SEC baseball back on the diamond today. Make sure you listen to Alabama Vanderbilt later this afternoon right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
And another storyline for that one. This was late last night. Jack Leiter, the son of Al Leiter, who's had a great year for Vandy but struggled in his last 3 starts, he's a late scratch. He's not going to pitch against Alabama today. So that's going to be really interesting to see how that Dylan Smith will continue in his #2 role for Alabama, coming off of his first win last week against
But this
Missouri.
is where we always talk about the fact, though, that separates Vanderbilt and a lot of these other schools is because they can – yes, they're missing Jack Leiter, but Vanderbilt can just go and plug in and play somebody that has the depth because of the scholarship numbers, because of everything that they have.
Endowed scholarships.
This is where Vanderbilt has that advantage still.
Yeah, because the guy they brought out of the pen last night is a top 40 draft prospect throwing 95. So I mean, they've just got a ton of depth in their pitching staff. But if you're Alabama, you got to take some solace in that you were able to swing the bats decently against Kumar Rocker and well at times because Alabama led 3-0 and 6-4 before the Vandy bats kind of flexed their muscles. And coming into this series, Scott, I was saying it was important for Alabama to get a 1 win in this series. So hopefully they can find a way to win game 2 or 3. Now I'm under no delusions here. I don't think they can come back and take 2 from Vandy. It would be monumental. I mean, it would be the biggest series win in Alabama baseball probably in the last decade if it happened. But you're at Hawkins Field. You're against Vandy. I'm just hoping they can compete and find a way to scratch one out, man. That would be tremendous.
All right. Well, we talked a lot about this on Thursday because Ian Rappaport put it out there that Kerryon Johnson was being released by the Lions. Well, on Wednesday we had talked about it that Kerryon Johnson
that it looked like that was going to happen.
And then on Thursday on the Get Up show or on one of these national football shows, the Lions GM came out and said, "Well, wait a minute, we haven't made up our mind yet." What we're doing with Kerryon Johnson. We haven't officially said we're releasing him. Well, the Lions did send him. They did release him. And then yesterday, the Philadelphia Eagles claimed Kerryon Johnson off of waivers.
So you got Jalen Hurts at quarterback, Kerryon Johnson at running back, and Devontae Smith at wide receiver. So some local flavor. Local, remember that word again. Flavor for the Philadelphia Eagles. So, yeah, I mean, it's
look. I think there's more. I think there may be more on that roster.
Well, remember they also drafted Landon Dickerson, who will likely be the center from the University of Alabama. So we'll have to see, but certainly carry on getting another opportunity. Didn't have to wait long. I mean, he certainly wasn't out of work long with Detroit letting him go. 1,700. Offensive yards in his time with Detroit. Once again, the only thing holding Kerryon back has been getting hurt and nicked up. He got a lot of talent, and so we'll see how he fits in with Philly. But there you go, another weapon potentially for Jalen Hurts to use, who is the favorite going in with Joe Flacco as the backup with the Eagles right now in their new regimen.
Okay, I also wanted to throw this out there too because I saw this yesterday. Texas A&M loses a piece to the in the transfer portal, and he has ties to the state of Alabama as well. And so I need to and everything is kind of slipping my mind here, but the young gentleman's name is kind of slipping my mind. So we'll have to I'll come back to that here in just a second because I want to ask the chances of him ending up somewhere in the state of Alabama after leaving Texas A&M. But we'll talk about that here in the second hour here coming up on Talkin Ball. Once again, we are live from University Kia on this Saturday. Don't forget, University Kia, ask them about their military specials, their financing programs for first-time buyers, and all month long, they will buy your vehicle even if you do not buy one of theirs. Don't forget, they got the 2022 Kia Carnival. It is here. They got the new Kia Soul, $16,995. You can get the Kia Forte, $16,995 as well. They also have the Kia Sportage, $21,995. And then you can also check out the new K5 here at University Kia. They've got military financing and military deals all going on this month.
And the linebacker you're referring to is Keyshawn Brown, who is a 4-star recruit from Carver Montgomery High School. He's got a funny story in a way because and what I mean by that is he never actually played for the Aggies in an official game because he was a part of the 2019 recruiting class, was a 4-star guy. He redshirted his first year, and then in 2020 he opted out. And so of course it's a second redshirt year, Scott, as you know, everybody getting extra seasons of eligibility due to COVID. But now he's gone into the transfer portal and still has 4 years of eligibility remaining. Now, I don't know if he'll end up, with the Auburn Tigers. We will see. I know that some people may try to connect him there. They could try to connect him to Troy. They could try to connect him potentially, to South Alabama. Yeah. But we'll see. But I don't know where Keyshawn Brown is going to end up. But I'm just telling you that that's interesting that he has just pretty much all his eligibility intact. He never officially played for the Aggies in a game, but you're right. He's on the move.
And with the one-time transfer rule, he can come in this year, play right away, and have 4 years of eligibility.
But now he didn't go through spring at his new place, though. That is one issue. He went through spring at Texas A&M, so we'll see. Not sure really what's going to happen with that, but I haven't heard his name associated with Auburn. But we'll monitor that. We'll monitor and see if he's going to come back to the state of Alabama. But Carver Montgomery, that's, of course, they've turned out a lot of talent in the last few years, in the SEC. So, Brown, he was a good player coming out, a 4-star. He wasn't. I don't think he was pursued heavily though by Alabama and Auburn the first time around. So it's going to be interesting to see. Alabama's got a stacked linebacker room.
Right. I don't anticipate him ending up there, but I was thinking, Auburn has had a lot of guys go in the transfer portal. A lot of guys leave because of the coaching attrition. So I'm wondering if, it would be a fit there, or if, the likes of a Troy or a South Alabama or even maybe a Tennessee, because they're hurting.
Yeah, now Tennessee, that would be somewhere I would look, because they need linebackers. They need because they had long snappers and walk-ons and all that stuff on their depth chart. But of course, you have to look for connections to the coaching staff. Rodney Garner was at Auburn when Brown came out. We'll see if he liked him enough as a player. That Mack Wilson came out of that high school, as we know, did a nice job at Alabama. Now with the Cleveland Browns. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know, but certainly it's an interesting transfer, though, that he leaves A&M to. And I'm sure he wants to have another shot at another D1 school. Might even look at UAB because UAB and Bill Clark, have done a remarkable job with that program, being consistent, being a contender in Conference USA.
All right, well, we are about done with our number one as we come to you live from University Kia on this Saturday. We just saw Avery Seaton walk by. It must be nice when you don't have to play baseball on Friday because you get it all done on Thursday.
Probably
Nor do
good
you have to play
karma,
on
though.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they got their series coming up next week. And coming up in hour number two, we're going to talk to his head coach, David Pressley, on the Mustangs going forward in the semifinals as they take on Russellville. That'll come up in hour number two.
Yeah.
But when we come back, Drew, 24/7 Sports has compiled the 10 most memorable college football plays in the last 10 seasons. Did they get it right? And did they leave some out? Did they get the order right? We'll run it all down when we return in hour number two, live from University Kia.
Huntsville, Alabama. Now let's get back to the Crimson Tide Sports Network on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
Hey, Chad, what was that?
That's going to do that. That's the hour notification.
Okay.
They always do that like an hour before the game.
Okay.
It's like getting everybody ready, and it's like apparently when the log changes to the or to Alabama or whatever.
Okay.
Playoffs.
Okay, that's
It's
weird.
like their little ID at the top of the hour, knowing it's like an hour before the game.
Right.
There's nothing I can do about it. It always chimes in whether I have to turn the volume down.
What time do they play?
What?
What time do they play today?
I guess they don't play till 1, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, we're 2 hours before.
Yeah, I don't know. It usually does that sometime beforehand. There's nothing I can do about
Okay,
it. It's
that's
something within how we put it in through the computer.
Okay.
And then it just plays.
All right.
What's he saying?
PI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and organs.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The Saturday baseball schedule starts in the Bronx. The Yankees host the Nationals, and our ESPN radio coverage starts at 12:30 Eastern. The game also on ESPN+. For only the second time in baseball history, we've had 4 no-hitters before the end of May. The last time it happened was 1917. Friday night in Cleveland, in a game that was delayed almost 90 minutes by rain, lefty Wade Miley of the Reds shuts down the Indians 3-0.
Sixth inning now, all my buddies left me, and I was like, I don't like that. I don't like thinking about pitching. I want to talk about something else, talk about fishing, talk about hitting. There was nobody to talk to. I felt DJ scoot like over 2 or 3 feet. I'm like, come on, Dave.
Wade Miley watched his teammates score all 3 of their runs in the top of the 9th, and then he finished off his no-no with 114 pitches. NCAA President Mark Emmert tells the New York Times he's recommending the NCAA board should approve new rules on NIL by July 1st. Those rules would allow college athletes to make endorsement money on their names, image, and likeness for the first time. 10 games played in the NBA Friday night. The only road team able to win, the San Antonio Spurs. They beat the Kings 113-104. The Spurs hold the 10th spot in the West. Tonight in Dallas, more than 60,000 fans will watch a super middleweight unification bout, Canelo Alvarez and Billy Joe Saunders.
It's Greeny, and things couldn't be more crazy. Aaron Rodgers wants out of Green Bay. The Bears trade up to take Justin Fields. So much to talk about, and we'll do it Monday when I'm back in better than ever. It's Greeny, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN Plus.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now. 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
And just like that, hour number 2 of Talking Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone is underway. Coming to you live from University Kia on this Saturday. One more hour of our show to go. And then coming up a little later this afternoon, you'll hear Alabama on the road at Vanderbilt right here, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Before the break, we were talking college football, and that is where we pick up our conversation to kick off hour number 2. 24/7 Sports has said, okay, look, over the last 10 seasons, these are the top memorable college football plays of the past 10 seasons. They took them all. They tried to take all of the plays, not games, not seasons, but plays. And number 10 on the list, Auburn fans probably not going to want to hear this one, and that is Jameis Winston finds Kelvin Benjamin for the BCS crown in 2013-14 at the Rose Bowl. That was number 10 on the most top 10 memorable college football plays in the past 10 seasons.
Yeah.
I was there for that one. I was sitting up there.
It was a heck of a comeback. Auburn led, 20-3 at one point.
In the press box for that one.
But the Florida State Seminoles and Jameis Winston came back. It's really, let's be honest, that's what got the job at Texas A&M for Jimbo Fisher in the $75 million contract. If he doesn't win the national title, I'm not sure that he gets the job. And they want him as nearly as much. When you have a national championship on your resume, there's very few coaches that have one of those. That's when you get an ironclad 10-year, $75 million guaranteed contract, which is what Jimbo Fisher has to get his ass beat by Alabama every year.
And I believe that was the last BCS championship game. I think
they
went to the playoff
they went to the playoff the next year.
Yep.
Urban Liar got his championship and then burned out like he always does because he can't stay anywhere that long because he wears thin with people. But even though he's a great coach, I mean, there's no doubt about it. But again, just go back and look at his track record. And that's why I'm going to be fascinated to see what happens in the NFL because that's, he's such a great recruiter wherever he went, at Ohio State, Florida, even Utah. But see, it's different in the NFL. And Nick Saban realized that too. And when you're more equipped for the college game, which I think Urban is, I have doubts that he's going to have long-term success in the National Football League, but we'll see. But certainly with Jimbo, and of course I'm circling back to his comments earlier this week that they were going to, whip Nick Saban's rear end before he leaves. I think I would. I know he's in front of his boosters, but again, I would watch what I'm saying because I know you've got an ironclad contract, but your ass ain't come close yet. Okay, you didn't come close at Florida State when you got a chance to go up against Superman, and you tugged on the cape a little bit, and they caved you in. And basically, it was the end of your program because you never recovered from that beatdown, and it was a beatdown. So, I mean, but people forget. I mean, Florida State was in the game at halftime. I think they even led at halftime, but it didn't last because he got out-coached again. But he's done it. He did have a good year at Texas A&M last year. They did finish second in the West, but still, I mean, we'll see. I'm still skeptical a little bit of Jimbo. I've never been a big fan of him as a head coach. I think he does a good job with quarterbacks, but, except for that 1 year at FSU where everything kind of lined up, it's been underwhelming. So we'll see.
Number 9 on the list of top 10 most memorable plays the past 10 seasons. They call this one the game that Robert Griffin III won the Heisman, and that is Baylor past Oklahoma, where he sends Baylor past Oklahoma in 2011. Number 8, Jadeveon Clowney's incredible Outback Bowl hit
Yeah.
Remember that
Michigan.
one?
Yeah.
Yep, against Michigan.
Yep.
Number 7 is Michigan State stuns Wisconsin in 2011. I know. Okay, number 6 on the list.
Where? Yeah.
The prayer at Jordan-Hare.
Yeah.
In
I'm sorry, that's not a
2013.
little higher.
That's number 6.
Because, I mean, I know the kick 6 happened after that, but if you don't win that game, then it's not as nearly as important. I mean, beating Alabama for Auburn is always very important, but as far as the national importance, it wouldn't have been there.
Okay, number 5.
Yeah.
Alabama fans will remember this one.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Manziel's bobble touchdown pass in 2012.
Now, and I'm asking stuff about this.
Yeah.
These are plays.
These are just plays, not
now, I'll be honest with you.
Not games, not seasons, but just memorable plays.
Due to the importance of what Auburn did in 2013.
Right.
Getting all the way to the national championship game and being a minute and 20 seconds away from winning it all. I would have to say that the prayer at Jordan-Hare is more important than Johnny Boy having one shining moment before getting his ass whipped the rest of his career.
Number 4, Watson to Renfro. 2016-17 national championship game with Alabama.
I can see that. I mean, I can see the pick play being important.
Number 3. Now, this is where, I don't know, 2nd and 26 is number 3 on the top 10 most memorable plays in college football in 10 years.
It should have been number 1 because it decided the national champion. I'm sorry. I mean, and I guess it's Alabama fatigue, but, and I'm sure the kick 6 was probably number 1. Because, but
well, wait till you hear what's number 2.
I can't. Probably is it the Michigan State punt situation?
Yes, it is. Michigan trouble with the snap,
and that's
number
just
2.
Stupid. And look, that should have been on the list, but it should have been 4 or 5. Because Scott, think about this.
It could have been below. I mean, really,
it's got to be. It's got to be below the kick 6 and the prayer at Jordan-Hare and 2nd and 26. All 3 of those. That played a huge outcome in national championships. That Michigan State, that was just a deciding in a big rivalry out in the Midwest of a couple of teams that never win anything. So there you go. They never win anything. So to me, that's more in the middle. That's more fit 5 or 6 when you have plays that decide national titles and SEC championships and things of that nature. Those should be higher. To me, 2nd and 26 should be number 1. Probably the kick 6, number 2.
Kick 6 is number 1.
Then kick 6, number 2, because that got Auburn to the SEC championship game, which got them to the national championship game because they, of course, just stomped Auburn did easily. Steve Spurrier in South Carolina. So to me, Missouri. It was Missouri that year.
Right.
The South Carolina was 2010. But yeah, they stomped Missouri. So I mean, come on. To me, you got to have those 2, the kick 6 and 2nd and 26, 1 and 2, because of what they meant, not just in that rivalry, but nationally, the impact. Because,
did they leave any plays out, though? I mean, it's hard to go through and pick just 10 plays from the past 10 seasons, but did they leave any memorable plays out in that list?
Yeah. I mean, do we hear that? I know it didn't. As far as knock them out of the national championship race, but did they talk about the huge win Boston College at Clemson? Because that was the only loss then. But I'm just saying, to me, when you look at that, certainly that Michigan State was a huge play because it decided the game, and all Michigan had to do was get the punt off, and the game was over. I understand. I mean, I was as stunned as anyone when it happened. But when you look at
number 2 on the
list. because when you look at it, what did Michigan or Michigan State go on to win that year? They went to meaningless bowl games, but they were not. They were not championship caliber. Football teams.
Was that the year that that wasn't the year that Michigan State made it to the playoffs, was it?
I don't think so.
Okay, where they ultimately got destroyed by Alabama.
Well, I mean, we can check that, but I don't think they were in the play. That was 2015.
Yeah, that was this happened in 2000. You're right. It's 2015. So this was the 2015 season for Michigan State.
Scott, we got some breaking news, brother.
Okay.
Got huge news being, reported by Matt Zenitz of AL.com. And I'm glad we're going to be able to talk about it on the show because what our luck lately has been, it happens 20 minutes after we get off the air.
Yeah, it happens 9:05.
Yeah,
everything happens at 9:05, and Stephen West walk into great situations.
Okay, I'll just ask you, what have we talked about ad nauseum for a month about
Henry To'oTo'o?
Yes, exactly.
Because every show, I mean, it's almost like we have to mention his name every show.
Well,
just because we have to mention his name.
Now, Matt Zenitz is a friend of the show, been on several times.
Yes.
He's the former sports writer of the year. Henry To'oTo'o has committed to the University of Alabama. So they do have a spot for Mr. To'oTo'o. He will be going. That was the thought. Do they or not? Do they or do they not? They've already taken Jamison Williams from The Ohio State University because he didn't want to be a runner-up in his life. And so now they have room for Henry To'oTo'o. And I was starting to doubt it because of how the linebackers performed in the spring. I wasn't sure, but we saw Brandon Turnage enter the portal in the last few days, and that opens up a spot, and so now Henry To'oTo'o is going to transfer to Alabama. Led the Tennessee Volunteers in tackles last year with 76 and 10 tackles for a loss. It's a huge addition for the Tide. I think their linebacker corps was already stacked, but now you take an all SEC talent like Henry To'oTo'o, huge news for Alabama.
That is, because you thought that, and then still though, you like the linebacking core the way it is, or the way it was, I should say now, at Alabama before the addition of Henry To'oTo'o. What does this do to that linebacking room now? Does the addition of Henry To'oTo'o mean we could see a name come in the transfer portal for Alabama here in the future, or is it going to stay pat and it gets stronger with the addition of Henry To'oTo'o?
I mean, it's just really going to be interesting, Scott, because, I guess we could potentially, but a lot of those linebackers are still very young and will get their opportunity down the road. I wonder about Jalen Moody because he's a senior and he's been a big special teams guy, but been pushing for playing time. Of course, he'd be a huge insurance policy if someone gets injured. But I think what it basically came down to is that Alabama, probably thought he was too talented to turn down. And I know, that they had an excellent relationship with his dad, who I think we talked about that. He told Hank South, no doubt, that if things stayed the way they were, that they were waiting on Alabama. And so Henry To'oTo'o on his official Twitter account, I'm just looking at it right now, he just said, "Thank you, God." And with a picture now from Hayes Fawcett, who does a lot of, these, graphics for players within an Alabama uniform out in front of Bryant-Denny Stadium. So Henry To'oTo'o, it was thought he might be leaning to The Ohio State University, but once again, probably didn't want to be a runner-up. I sure wouldn't. So he's
there. You go, Rod Daly. There you go. Every day. There you go.
And so Rod Daly, who asks us this probably 3 times a week.
Yes.
Hopefully he's listening on this Saturday morning. But certainly, and I'm glad we were able to break this here. And we give a shout out to Matt Zenitz for doing another great job.
So you mean a local show on a Saturday
is breaking
actually
some news.
Has benefits out there?
We are actually breaking this news. They probably wouldn't have been talking about it on Dari and Mel, but we appreciate people for listening. We are the king of local sports here in town. We give coaches a voice, and we still cover the national stories that have to do with our state as well. And that's at the University of Alabama, where we are the home of University of Alabama athletics. And Henry To'oTo'o, now Jamison Williams, 2 huge transfer additions for the University of Alabama.
Well, Nick Saban did say that remember the press conference when the one-time transfer rule went into effect, that, the rich get richer. That's exactly what those were his words.
I know the next question from Rod Daly and others is going to be, what about JT Tuilamoau? They're still going to pursue him. There will be room for him as well. So obviously Alabama had at least 3 spots, and To'oTo'o was just too talented not to take, and really came down to Alabama and Tennessee when he went to the Vols 2 years ago. So he had 2 good years for Tennessee, and now will be in the middle of that linebacker mix at Alabama.
Well, JTT, you mentioned that is all hinging on he is banking on the fact that he is going to be able to take these visits, and now he can because the dead period, the NCAA recruiting dead period, will end here very soon, and he'll be able to take these visits. He's going to have to make up his mind, though, pretty fast, right? Once these visits happen and everything, he does not have much time, JTT does, to make his college choice. Right?
And Rodney Orr, just getting a text from Rodney, and, of course, he's a great friend of the show as well. Here's another Jalen Moody point.
Okay.
Because of COVID, he has another year. So he can use another year next year if he wants it. Now, it's a choice. You don't have to come back. But he can have another year should he play behind Henry To'oTo'o this year, Scott. And then, of course, they'll all in Alabama may need Moody because very likely Henry To'oTo'o and Christian Harris, who's the starting weak side linebacker. Christian will be – both of these guys will be draft-eligible juniors. They're both looking probably to leave after their junior year if they play very well. So both of them could move on to the NFL, opening another opportunity for Moody. And what we talked about, the Deontay Lawsons and the Demoye Kennedys and even the Jackson Brattons from Muscle Shoals as well.
How fast does JTT have to make his decision once he starts making
I was just reading an interview with his high school coach yesterday that you can read on TiderInsider.com. And basically the gist of it is he's going to take 3 visits for sure. Okay. Alabama, Oregon, and, of course, Ohio State. Now, we don't know about USC. The USC and Washington right now are probably the 4th and 5th in this race. But he's at least going to visit those top 3. And as his coach said, he wanted to play high school basketball. That was the main reason that he has not decided already and gone ahead and enrolled early because he could have enrolled in January. But basketball was very important to him. So they played basketball in the state of Washington this year. He wanted to play. And now they had their season in the football season in the spring as well. So he played football his senior season, and so what he's basically going to decide is he's going to take those 3 visits and then make an immediate decision because he knows he has to get on campus as soon as possible, probably before July 1st, to have a chance to still push for playing time as a freshman.
All right. Brandon, who joins us usually on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, chiming in on Facebook Live this morning and wants to know where the crazy 4th and 59 with 13 laterals between Arkansas and Ole Miss.
That's exactly right. Good point,
ended
Brandon.
Up in the top 10.
That play actually was huge too because it kept Ole Miss out of the SEC championship game and gave Alabama a shot
that's what he wants to
win that national
would...
championship. That's got to be ahead of Michigan and Michigan State. What are these people smoking? That's all I want to know. Good job by Brandon. I mean, good Lord.
See, that's the thing. That's what I was wanting to know. What other ones would have gotten left out or which other ones have gotten left out inside the top 10? But anyway.
That's a great point. We appreciate Brandon for listening and chiming in with that. That's a play that I should have thought of as well. Great point there.
All right. 256-576-4977 if you want to get in and react to anything that you have heard.
And then
today.
Henry To'oTo'o, another point about this. Yes. I don't think it's going to be as big an adjustment for him because he didn't go through spring ball with Alabama. Because when you look at what he was doing for Jeremy Pruitt and Nick Saban do a lot of the similar things defensively. I think Henry To'oTo'o will certainly be able to transition and fit into this defense pretty quickly. And, and Jalen Moody's a great insurance policy as well. Another friend of the show, Gary Harris, made a great point. That, you can't turn down a player of this caliber. My whole point was there going to be room for him? And again, how satisfied was Nick Saban with his linebacker core after spring? It looked awfully good, but I did have this caveat. In my opinion, I was wondering after I started hearing a lot of Ohio State buzz if Alabama was going to let him go to Ohio State. That was what I was thinking. But I have to admit, I was talking to Rodney Orr yesterday in the last few days and just telling him, the longer it goes where he doesn't commit to Ohio State and they're saying that he's leaning that way, I wonder if he's waiting on the interconference SEC transfer rule to still maybe go to Alabama because it may just be that Nick Saban, it's probably what he ultimately decided, he's too good to turn down.
That brings up another point. Usually coaches, athletic directors, they're one step ahead of what we are. They already know things before we do.
They're going to happen, yeah.
So do you feel then that interconference thing is obviously nearing a passage by the SEC to where he'll be able to play right away this coming year?
It's got to happen. I mean, I know his father told Hank South that they were even they thought enough of Nick Saban that even if they didn't pass the rule, he was willing to sit out and then be eligible the next year. But Scott, come on. I mean, almost every conference has passed that rule, and I've got to believe they're going to, because there's already been we've already seen movement with Tennessee picking up a Mississippi State wide receiver. We've already seen Daquan Newkirk go from Auburn to Florida. There's a lot of guys. At one time, Big Cat Bryant was going from Auburn to Tennessee, but now he's going to Central Florida with Gus Malzahn due to the coaching change. So there's already been a lot of interconference workings going on. We talked about the young man, the safety from Vanderbilt. He could very easily end up Kaufman at Auburn. So, again, there's going to be a lot of interconference transfers. And so I'll be surprised if Greg Sankey doesn't pass that, because, again, it would hurt the SEC, and he's not trying to hurt his own conference.
All right. So that is some news that we got to tell you first here this morning. It is still morning as we come to you live from University Kia along University Drive. Remember, they want to see you in a Kia. We want to see you in a Kia. They have got great financing options available, military financing specials available. So get on out here to University Kia, 21256-217-1700. Remember, they want to see you in a Kia, and so do we. We need to get a break in, because when we come back, we're going to continue to talk some high school baseball. Let's switch it back up to some high school baseball when we return.
David Pressley, Madison Academy, said to join us here live at University Kia on University Drive.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
Hey, this is Justin with the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. As we all get back to a new normal, I just wanted to let you know about the best bar and grill spot in North Alabama with the best entertainment as well. It is the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Every Monday night is steak night. Every Thursday night is bike night. Plus, we have the best food around, from the Mexican pasta to the best Cuban sandwich you could ever ask for. It's all at the Furniture Factory, located at the corner of Meridian and Pratt. Find us online, FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
This is Wes Neighbor sitting here with Ann Adams. Ann, I understand you have some exciting news.
Yes, Wes, I do. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services was just recognized in the 30th annual Harris Poll Equitrend as the Real Estate Agency Brand of the Year and the most trusted real estate brand.
That is awesome news, Ann. Great companies in Huntsville, Alabama, winning awards is what we want. Is it a great time to list your home?
Yes, it is. The inventory is low and the market is heating up.
Now, I understand you're also looking for agents.
I am. We are so busy, Wes. We need agents to keep up with the demand.
Ann Adams in Rise Real Estate has been doing business in North Alabama for the last 35 years. If you want to do business with someone you can trust, she has been writing contracts since she was 9 years old. Call Ann today at 256-337-2625.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
Former basketball player and Hall of Famer Charles Barkley is one of Alabama's most recognizable sports stars. Nicknamed the Round Mound of Rebound and Sir Charles, the Leeds native had a remarkable basketball career with the Auburn University Tigers before embarking on a career in the NBA. Barkley also played for the U.S. Olympic basketball team in the 1992 and 1996 Summer Games. Since his retirement in 2000, Barkley has carved out a niche as a basketball analyst, author, and commentator on political and social issues. Since 2001, Auburn University, the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Phoenix Suns have retired Barkley's number 34 jersey. In 2006, Barkley was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ADA, and this station.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
Born in Fairfield, Alabama, Willie Mays is one of the greatest baseball players to ever play the game. In 22 Major League seasons, mostly with the New York and later San Francisco Giants, Mays had a 302 lifetime batting average and amassed 3,283 hits, 660 home runs, and an untouchable total of 7,095 career putouts from the outfield. Mays was the National League Rookie of the Year in 1951 and played a significant role in the New York Giants World Series victory in 1954. The most memorable moment in Mays' career occurred in the first game of that series when he made a running over-the-shoulder catch at the warning track, popularly known as the catch. Mays earned 2 MVP awards, was awarded 12 Gold Gloves, made 24 All-Star Game appearances, and was a first-ballot Hall of Fame inductee in 1979. In 2015, President Barack Obama awarded Mays a Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
Hey, Zone listeners. Jonathan Dunwoody here from Minuteman Press. For years, you've heard me talk about our services. Well, now is the time to promote your business through a vehicle wrap. It's much more affordable than you might think. From graphic design to install, we're here to help promote your business. You can be a rolling billboard for your company. For years, you've heard me talk about our services, and all it takes is one call, 256-859-6161. Minuteman Press is located on Sparkman Drive.
Hey, man, we should be good. You got. And just like that, we are back up and running, literally here at University Kia. It is 11:29 in the morning here, and we have been at University Kia all morning. Remember, they want to see you in a Kia. 256-217-1700. That's the number to get you into a brand new Kia. Don't forget, they have got military specials going on. They have got special first-time car buyer financing deals available. They got all kinds of things available out here at University Kia. Because remember, they want to see you in a Kia. Don't forget, they are now open on Sunday, 12 to 5 here at University Kia. So if you can't get your car on a Saturday, you can come out here and get it on a Sunday now, 12 to 5 here at University Kia. Don't forget the Kia Forte, $16,995. You can get the Kia Sportage, $21,995. You can also get the brand new Kia K5, $21,995. And don't forget, they've got the Carnival and the Tellurides available, the two hottest cars on the market. And speaking of hot, the Madison Academy baseball team has been hot.
Yes,
because they made easy work in their first round, and their coach may not say it was easy, but they were able to get by their quarterfinal matchup in 2 games.
Yes, they were. They've been red hot. They've been playing such great baseball since the 5A playoffs started. They have now gotten to the semifinals in a hotly, anticipated series with Russellville coming up. But we wanted to bring in David Pressley once again, who's done such an amazing job taking the torch from Mike Good and from Coach Good, who's a great friend of our show as well, and keeping this Madison Academy program among the best in the state and on the 5A level. They're trying to win their first 5A state baseball title, and they're certainly off to an outstanding start on a great playoff run, 31-10 now. And David Pressley's been good enough to join us this morning here from University Kia on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Coach, congratulations, man. I guess since we last spoke with you, 2 more wins, 2 more series wins, 2 more sweeps. Great job by you and your players.
I appreciate it, guys. Appreciate you having us. And, yeah, you're right. That ease of how it gets there, maybe a little different view when you're standing in the dugout. But regardless, we're excited to be where we're at. Appreciate you guys, the recognition for the players and school and having me on.
Yeah, 7-3, 7-4, the scores against Hayden. Coach, kind of break that series down for us. Obviously, the bats were good because you're able to score 14 runs in 2 games. But let's talk about that series a little bit. What went right to get the win in 2 games?
We did. We barreled a lot of balls up, and we actually hit a lot of balls hard that didn't have a lot to show for. They did a good job, played us pretty deep on the field, and had some catches on the fence, things like that, where they had done a good job with their scouting report, were prepared to play, and and they made a few mistakes here or there, but we had to earn a lot of what we had, and stayed with our approach and stayed aggressive, and kids had fun. That's the way. Kids enjoy playing the games. Just keep putting pressure on, but it always goes to pitching and defense, and we continue to do those things well. Kyle Watson continues to have a great year through a complete game in Game 1, and very similar to last week. Avery Seaton starts Game 2. Had to get out a couple of jams, and big hats off to him. We had a 40-minute kind of a lightning and wind rain delay. Had to go down into the football stadium field house for about 40, 45 minutes. He comes right back out, jumps on the mound, and throws another probably 40 pitches. And we obviously were watching that close, but, that's a tough thing to do. He did a great job, kept us in it, and then Matt Manley closed. So we told him all year, and we focused on the mound, the defensive side of things, knowing that's going to be what wins the championship, because it always does. But pretty complete game. Proud of our guys.
Well, Coach, talk about how, too, it wasn't easy because you guys played a day early, so to speak, on Thursday, but the weather affected it. I know I heard you guys were in a lightning and then rain delay, so in Game 2. So that can be somewhat difficult as well when you have to pause and then get back out there to close a game out.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't happen very often. And Avery, never done anything like that probably in his career. And so we were, like I said, very proud. But, hey, we're in the field house. He's got bands out doing band work. They happen to have a football there. He's, throwing that little bit. We're saying just move around every few minutes. Don't lay down or do anything like that, right? Stay moving. And Bill responded. We're actually when we got delayed, Avery's stuff was good. I think he had a walk or hit a batter. They had a hit. They had one runner on. He's in a 1-2 count to the 3-hole hitter and had really pitched him well. And then we delay, and he's got to come back out in that circumstance. And it was tough to get going. And we ended up giving up 2 there. They barreled up 1 ball pretty well and didn't track it in center field. And but at the end of the day, on the road in the 3rd round, I don't care who you're playing, it's just going to be a fight. And it was. Our guys did a good job continuing to play the game.
Mm-hmm. Well, Coach, we were here 2 weeks ago, and we were talking about the Class 5A state championship game being played on Monday and Tuesday, and you were like, hey, the state's going to give us a little bit of leadway to create the schedule so that our pitchers can be fresh. What's the leadway now for the semifinal series? Because this is a monster series with Russellville.
Yeah, looking forward to this one. And obviously you don't look ahead. You've got to go week to week. But in our minds, we knew this was a possibility if both teams continue to play well. Coach Heath coached me in high school, still taught him a lot and pick his brain at times. Now I get to go, we've obviously played in the past, but getting to face Russellville, in the playoffs, in the semifinal, at home. It's going to be a ton of fun, and we will play Wednesday, Thursday. Still trying to confirm game times, but if you can play and finish your series by Thursday, then you have time for all your pitchers to get 4 days rest. And that's ideal. Obviously, any coach, and when you come down to your region or your half of the state, the north, south, the whole thing, you want your side of the state to have the best chance to go win the championship. And all the coaches know that. So we want to make sure we play early enough that whoever gets through goes into the finals Monday with their best stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. And Coach, I guess to go back a little bit to the last two rounds, and especially that Hayden series to get you here, you scored 14 runs in the two games, 7 apiece. Talk about the lineup and being able to swing the bats well enough, because, as you said, all these series are fights when you get to this point. You're playing very good opponents, but talk about still being able to generate the offense you have and the production you've had, being able to barrel balls up.
Yeah, there's a lot of believability with this older group, and they come together and they're playing together at the right time and for the right reasons, and starting to realize it's coming down to it. A lot of them will never play the game again. So top to bottom, having an experienced veteran lineup is helping us. And look, at the end of the day, all we talk about is put pressure on the other team, and I feel like we've done a good job of that. They actually came out, pitcher pitched pretty well in the first inning for Hayden the other day. We go 3-3 down, which haven't done probably in quite a while in an inning with the top for a lineup. And come out in the second, we need something to kind of move the needle a little bit. Herschler just laces the ball to left field off the fence. And then Seaton has an opposite field approach to move the runner with no out. It's an opposite field home run. Wow. And there you go. I mean, that just sets the tone for the series. And the moments like that, they really matter. And from there, everybody's just contributing. Everybody's finding a way, whether it's getting a bunt down, that kind of thing. But we also, got some guys that are just stepping in and driving the ball in the gap. A little mix of everything. So a lot of fun, a lot of great group to work with, and a lot of tools in the box.
Yeah, no question.
So is the pitching ready to go for this Russellville series? Do you have it all laid out? Is it going to stay the same as you've had the first two rounds?
Yeah, without giving too much away.
Yeah, we don't anticipate any change. The series are laid out the same. I could anticipate having to think about what you do. If you go to Montgomery, you completely change the way you play your series. You play one game the first day, two the second day, and whether or not you have guys on the staff that could potentially start a game and close a game, being the last hurrah of the year. But as far as these, we don't see any change. It's going to be about throwing strikes, pitching to the margins of the plate, defending the ball. We've done a good job. We just kind of try to stay on pace.
And you've already brought it up. It's fascinating the 6 degrees of separation. But like you played at Hartselle for Coach Booth. Of course, we know Chris Heaps was a longtime assistant there for him as well, and he's done a remarkable job at Russellville. I know you've had a chance to look at their team a little bit now, and you'll continue to prepare for them. But tell us a little bit about Russellville. I know they're very fundamentally sound, and certainly they're much like yourselves. They're used to winning.
You're right on target. People ask me, I say, is it fun where it's play? The team that plays the best is going to win. You don't want to say the team that makes the least mistakes. That's probably reality. But, they're a team that's going to force your hand. They got some aggressiveness. Their pitchers are not like overpowering velocity type guys. They're guys that are going to strike, try to stay out of the middle of the plate, force you to get yourself out. And so, this is a series where, I'm telling you, everything we've put in from September and all the, the discipline and the fundamentals like you talk about that we've preached, all that stuff, every single pitch, it's all going to matter. Any run you can steal from another team based on aggressiveness or their mistake. The funny thing is that we're going to play a lot the same way. Obviously, I learned, like I said, I learned a lot from Coach Heath. Still have a great relationship and appreciate all he's done, for me. Excited to get on the other side of the game that matters here.
Well, I got to ask you, when are we going to start this series?
Wednesday. Still waiting on game times, but we will start Wednesday with 2 games, weather permitting. Like I said, if you go to game 3, that would be on Thursday. Then that gives you Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for pitchers to recover. And if a guy throws on Thursday, it's probably not the guy you plan to start on Monday anyway, so it works out.
It really does, and it's been a remarkable run for you guys, Coach, and we congratulate you. And I guess we're going to go ahead and ask. We do this. We had Coach Brewer on from Sparkman earlier. They've got a huge game 3 coming up at 1 o'clock over at Florence. But your team now, if you're going to have a chance to advance to Montgomery and beat a great program like Russellville, what does Madison Academy have to do to get that win over on your great campus?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is on the mound. I mean, we got to hit spot. They're a good offensive team, and it'll be obviously the best offensive team within the playoffs. They're not. You run into some teams that have some guys at the bottom of the lineup that you can get out without your best stuff, and I think that pitchers are going to have to compete for 9 hitters. That's tough, right? That takes a lot of locking in, and hopefully that our guys feel fresh and dialed in because they're going to have to hit their spot. So throw 2 to 3 pitches for a strike and mix timing up and down the lineup, and then and play fundamental baseball. Defensively, we're going to have to be prepared for some bunt, some action on the bases, hit and runs. They're going to use everything they can use. Offensively, not giving away outs. We know what they're trying to do. Not chasing out of the zone or swinging stuff early in the count that we know we can't drive. Showing some discipline there. At the end of the day, be ready to play in close ball games. We've had, we've kind of been in them, just not late in the game. We haven't had close. We got to be comfortable, excited about being in a 1-run game. I think back to the Helena series just a couple of weeks ago, or Helena game. That's why we play those kind of games, just to prepare, to feel good when it's 2-3 or 4-3 or, whatever it might be down into the 7th that you got to hold a lead. So I threw a lot at you, but, it's have fun. It's exciting. We get the chance to do this. I anticipate some good baseball.
Mm-hmm. No question. I mean, that was big playing Helena right before the playoffs. I think it helped prepare your squad once again, and the difficult schedule you played during the regular season. But we applaud you. Great season so far. Can't wait to be a part of that atmosphere over at Madison Academy when you guys take on Russell. It's going to be a great atmosphere. And we're going to catch up with Coach Heaps later in the week. But we appreciate you for joining us on this Saturday. And I know your daughter's playing today, but thank you for joining us. And good luck, Coach.
Yeah, guys, thank you.
Thanks, Coach. All right, David Pressley joining us, head coach of Madison Academy Baseball. Let's get a break in because when we come back, going to wrap up the show. Drew, there was a altercation between 2 Mets teammates in the tunnel last night. Wait till you hear the reason why. Francisco Lindor says he and his teammate, Jeff McNeil, were going at it. You're never going to believe this.
Right.
And I don't believe it.
Here's a list of what we have. The Crimson Tide Sports Network, the Atlanta Braves Radio Network, Madison Academy Football, UAH Basketball, the SEC Radio Network, the College Football National Championship Game, the SEC Football Championship Game, NBA Playoffs, MLB Playoffs, and that's just the starting lineup. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
That fact is important for you to know.
Sitting here with Ann Adams of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Rise Real Estate. Is it a good time to sell your home, Ann?
Yes, it is. We have people relocating from all over the country.
Why should we choose Rise Real Estate?
Well, we've been selling real estate in North Alabama for 36 years and have sold more real estate than any other real estate company, period.
Do you help your customers through the entire process?
Yes, our agents are with you during the whole process from start to finish, from beginning to end.
In your relocation services, you have a whole team.
Yes, we have a dedicated relocation department helping customers move seamlessly into the area.
Ann Adams has been writing contracts for the last 36 years. She has the experience to help you list and sell your home, downsize your home, or help pick the perfect spot north of Alabama for you to build a future.
Call Ann Adams at 256-337-2625 or on the web at www.bhhsriserealestate.com.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on, all done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So you don't have to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
1 in 3 adults in America have prediabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Here's 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living, then has mom my. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
From the WZDX Ben Point Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Not a bad Saturday afternoon across the Tennessee Valley. A fair amount of cloud cover, but we're still going to get to enjoy a little bit of sunshine. Temperatures hanging out in the upper 60s and lower 70s. A couple of scattered showers are going to be possible. That activity would be quick moving, and at the end of the day, I'm pretty confident most of us probably going to end up staying dry. We drop into the mid-50s through the overnight. More cloud cover for your Mother's Day. Still not going to be a terrible day. Temperatures climb into the upper 70s and lower 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey, I'm on vacation every single day because I love my occupation. Hey, I'm on vacation. If you don't like your life, then you should go and change it. Hey, I'm on vacation every single
We are not on vacation.
But it feels like we are because I love my occupation.
There you go. See, we are coming to you live
And we
this
even played
morning.
musical headsets and do this show.
We did. We're coming to you live this morning from University Kia along University Drive. That's because the power went out during a commercial break.
Yeah, hey.
And we had no idea.
Yeah.
And so finally they reset the breakers like right before we come back on. And we didn't miss a beat, didn't skip a beat. We are all good to go. But don't forget, they want to see you here in a Kia. We want to see you in a Kia. University Kia, 256-217-1700. We did have some breaking news, which we talked about 50 minutes ago during the top of the second hour of the show, and that is Alabama does pick up another big name from the transfer portal.
Henry To'oTo'o. It is now official, and I know people are going to ask about the interconference transfer rule. It has not been officially passed yet. We think it will be by the end of May. So I think Henry To'oTo'o and his father feel confident that's going to happen. That's why he committed to the University of Alabama. Though his father has gone on record as saying if they would even sit out a year to play for Nick Saban, but I don't think that. I think it's just a formality at this point. There's been a lot of kids in the portal that have gone from one SEC school to the other. We already went over that. So Javonte Payton the wide receiver from Mississippi State to Tennessee, Duquan Newkirk from Auburn to Florida, Henry To'oTo'o now from Tennessee to Alabama. There's been a lot of movement like that. Auburn could potentially, snag the safety Kaufman from Vanderbilt. So we will see. There's no doubt about it, but I think we're just going to have to continue to monitor it. But Greg Sankey's not going to hurt his conference if there's, because if you don't pass that rule and these kids go to another league, you're hurting the quality of football in your league, Scott.
Right.
And I don't anticipate Greg Sankey doing that.
Okay, so that is the big news that has happened since we have arrived here at University Kia. From the humorous section, I guess you could say, oh boy, I read this story and I just had to laugh because I know this is not everything that I know this is not what it's about. But last night on the Mets Diamondbacks game, there was a commotion in the Mets clubhouse tunnel. And it ended up being between Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil. Now, the rumors began, and apparently they say they got into it in the tunnel after coming off the field. Their teammates were running down the tunnel to break it up quickly. Francisco Lindor was asked after the game what happened. And his explanation, Drew, was that he and Jeff McNeil were arguing whether or not they saw a raccoon or a rat in the clubhouse tunnel. That was the reason given.
A raccoon or a rat? And they're arguing about this.
I doubt that that's what they were arguing over.
Or should we say a raccoon or a trash panda? What should it be called? Speaking of that, I believe they got their second win.
Oh, they did get their second win last night.
Wanted to just briefly mention that there. They including a 3 home run game. But again, just unbelievable. I mean, a raccoon or a rat.
If you're going to get in an argument with a teammate, is that the best excuse you could come up with as to why you were arguing?
I don't know. I mean, good Lord. We're ending the show talking about raccoons or rats. Well, I'm going to pivot here because and as I was already mentioning, Auburn heavily in the mix for Donovan Kaufman, the Vanderbilt, transfer safety, also Texas there as well. But I was also going to say too that we can also update the over at the AHSAA soccer.
Yep.
Spain Park beats the Davidson Warriors 2-1 in 7A boys. That just went final, according to Ben Thomas, great friend of the show from AL.com. I know Josh Beans over there as well doing covering that. But Spain Park beats Davidson. Not one of our local teams playing, but of course we are very proud to be the host of this event. And so 2-1 7A boys, Scott, just went final.
Yeah, and soccer wrapping up there. They don't have too much. I believe noon is the last game. That is the last game being played over there at John Hunt Park. So soccer is just about ready to wrap up. They handed out blue maps, like we said, for the first time since 2019. I believe that is the first spring sport because golf is about ready to head to the state championship portion of their schedule. Baseball is getting to the semifinal portion of the schedule. So soccer, the first among all of the spring sports here in the state of Alabama to officially hand out the first blue maps. So it's good. And then we bring that up, and I know people are probably tired of us continuously bringing up the fact that this is the first time we've had the spring sports in the state, but it does bring back a sense of normalcy when we get to talk about it and move on, so to speak. So that's why we're bringing that up. So it's excited to do that. But once again, we're live here from University Kia. Time is about running out. And we saw Avery Seaton today. We didn't get a chance to visit with him, but we didn't get to hear from Arthur Seaton today. But if he was here, he would say, come on out, Test drive a Telluride, test drive a Carnival, test drive the K5. You'll like it.
They can't keep them. They get rid of them. They don't even. They're not even here for a week. Especially the Telluride and the Carnival. They've been red hot.
So that's what he would tell us if he was here. He would also be proud of his Alabama A&M Bulldogs. For winning the SWAC championship.
That may be where he is. He may be helping them get fitted for rings, man. You never know.
Because they also won the HBCU Box Show National Championship.
And the SWAC championship. Is the Alabama A&M Bulldogs defeat Arkansas Pine Bluff in Jackson, Mississippi. They seem to love playing in Jackson. They certainly put a thumping on Deion Sanders and the Jackson State Tigers. And they did all this without getting to play a game on campus, a home game at all. So, again, kudos to Alabama A&M for winning it. And for these Tennessee fans right now, I know they're upset. I know we've already had a tweet at us that says this is absolutely disgusting, talking about Henry To'oTo'o going to Alabama. But that's Nick Saban sending a message for college football free agency. But Tennessee did get a commitment in the last couple of minutes for 2022. Brody Foley from Cincinnati, Ohio, class of 2022, chose Tennessee over Rutgers, Indiana, Minnesota, Auburn, among others. 6'6", 235, and he is going to play for Josh Heupel and the Tennessee Vols. He commits to the Tennessee Volunteers, and this is, of course, reported by our good friend Ryan Callahan of Go Vols 24/7, and he had visited the Vols on his own unofficially twice in the last month, including, I think, for the spring game. So,
I mean, Tennessee fans are going to get disgusted about it, but I mean, look, Nick Saban said the rich will get richer. We'll lose good players, but add great players. I mean, that's what's going to happen. I mean, what did people think is going to happen? But what did people think is going to happen when you allow a one-time transfer rule in college sports?
Yeah, I mean,
this is exactly what's going to happen, folks.
Yeah, I mean,
it's going to happen.
The best programs are still going to benefit more than others. And in Alabama, Jamison Williams of Ohio State, Henry To'oTo'o in the last week. So
you tell a kid
in Alabama, you're just loading up.
You tell a kid, hey, guess what? My team, we're awful. We're not in playoff contention, but I'm good, and I have the ability to go play for a team that's in playoff contention each year, and I don't have to sit out a year.
And we're about to wrap up, but Jason Brewer, we thank you. We thank you to David Pressley. Good luck to Sparkman later today at Florence at 1 o'clock, and, of course, Fife and Phil Campbell to be decided at noon. We'll be all over that on Monday. We'll see you at 7:01 a.m. from Bill Penny Toyota.
When you call,
see you guys, have a good weekend.
Here is you need a new roof, not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of